Welcome to another episode of a News and Use podcast, y'all. This is so impromptu. We're delighted to be here with my bestie. And guess what, y'all? We day drinking. So, it's going to be live in effect.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Tamara Pizzoli.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. Girl, what you up to, girl, these days? Tell us about yourself real quick. Run through, give us a snippet. Everybody don't know who you is. So tell everybody who you is, Dr. Tamara Pizzoli.
Okay, so I've known Frenchaire since I was 16. We met at SMU, and I've loved her since then. And what else? What else can I say? We've been day drinking.
What you do?
Okay, so I am an author, art curator, publisher, producer, overall a creative. I do whatever it is that brings me joy.
Yes. And what is bringing you joy these days? Thank you.
Self-reflection. Self-reflection and assessment and adjustment. Like being hyper aware of the life I'm curating for myself and those around me, and making sure that I'm bringing as much beauty and joy to self and to others around me as I possibly can.
So how did you come to this place?
I want to say that also I met Frenchie in Dallas. We went to SMU. Go Ponies.
Go Ponies.
And since then, I moved to Rome, Italy,
yes,
where I stayed and lived, thrived for 17 years.
Woo!
And I just moved back to the States like 3 days ago. And
welcome back.
My husband, I'm getting used to saying that, and my 11 children and I are going to be based in New Orleans starting on Monday. Which
That's
is like
exciting.
2 days from now.
That's super exciting.
So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Okay, I love that. So I want to congratulate you on 10 years of book publishing.
No, congratulate me on my outfit for
It's fine.
I've had it for 10 years, like my publishing house.
Yes.
This podcast is sponsored by Gloria's. Gloria's has sponsored my whole ass life. Can you cuss on this?
You cuss on this.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Since I was 16, since I was a young lad at SMU.
Yes, we've been big kicking at Gloria's for a long time now.
Forever.
And our line sister is coming.
Yay!
So big kick it some more.
Yes.
But I just want you to tell us what inspires you to make your books, your curating. What inspires you these days?
A lot of inspiration comes from my own life experiences and the experiences that I notice with my kids. As I have 4 kids, and all kids are just a great source of inspiration. So I pay attention to my life, and I pay attention to their lives, and then the stories really just tell themselves to me usually.
Yes. And tell me what your experiences is with collaboration.
I don't.
You do.
I don't. Not a very skilled collaborator. No, that's not true.
That's not true.
I do. I collaborate, but I don't do it. It has to be. I like contracts. I like paperwork. I like contracts, and I think all Black creatives need to, especially Black creatives, we tend to be so filled. It's our God-given like destiny and gift to just be brimming with ideas, and we get mined a lot, MINED, without much return a lot of times, unless you're very hyper aware of that, which I am. So when I collaborate, I'm very careful. That's the word. I'm cautious, I'm careful, and I'm quick to invoice.
Yes.
That's
real talk.
That's like earlier with your situation. You were saying, I'm going to go do this thing, make this appearance at this thing, right. And I was like, oh, are they paying?
Are we paying?
Why are you going? They're
Why
not paying.
Not
that
paying?
Every situation has to be paid. It's not that, but you know, when just Black creatives, you have to be make sure you're careful where you're giving your gold.
Yes. Yeah. No, the energy thing is a real thing.
Yes.
Share with us how you share your energy with life. What is your inspiration on that?
I think it's very much like a dance. That's a beautiful question. I want to compliment you on that question.
Thank you.
I've never been asked that. How I share my energy with life. I try to wake up. It doesn't happen every day, but when I'm like in myself and aware and like not too bogged down with what's going on in the world, I try to let God know that I'm listening.
Yeah.
And that if there's something that I need to pay attention to or that the universe wants to teach me, I'm open, I'm listening. Mm-hmm. And in that way, I try to ensure that my actions, my thoughts, my deeds are also reflecting that back to the universe, that this is what I'm doing with what I've learned, and this is the beauty that I'm trying to put out into the world, and I hope that it delights you as much as you've delighted me.
Yes. Now tell us about your perspective on travel.
I think in what sense? Because that's super broad.
International travel. Like, as you know, everybody here in the States have not been out of the States. So what is your perspective now that you've lived out of the States for 17 years? Like, what's your perspective on travel, international travel?
I think it's glorious. I think it's book it and figure out how to do it, how to figure it, the finances or the logistics out later, and you won't regret it.
Yeah. Because
the time is what's finite. The opportunities are sometimes finite too, even though they say the illusion is that they're not, that you can always do this or you can always go to this place. But some of the most beautiful and lasting experiences of my life have come on a whim and come outside of the United States. So, and I would definitely say if you get a chance to spend extended time in a place, do it, because it really stretches like the scope of your mind.
Woo.
Wow.
That was a good win there.
That was.
Let me see. We doing this live. We live in the bag right now.
On the patio at Gloria's.
Yeah, we are. I want to ask you one more question. And for any aspiring business owner, entrepreneur, what 2 gems would you drop on them right now?
Own yourself. Don't be so quick to think that because you get an opportunity to sign on with like a larger company or a sponsor or something, like own yourself. Retain as many rights, all rights to your creative work as possible. And the other would be to create relentlessly, because eventually something's going to stick. So if you get a good idea, really try to stick it and stick with it and follow through. Because like my husband, when I first met him, used to say, he was living in New York at the time, and he would say, everybody in New York has a blunt and a good idea. It's true. Most people have had like an incredible idea that could have taken them who knows where, but what separates, I think, those who stick out and those who don't is the follow through on those good ideas. So yeah, those are the 2. Own yourself and create relentlessly. Just put yourself out there.
No, that's real. That's really real, and you gotta put yourself out there. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Tammy, we've been I've been talking about doing this
quick.
It was quick. We in and out of there. That's almost about 15 minutes.
No, it's not.
No?
It's not even 10.
Oh, it's been that fast?
You brought me all the way to the bedroom only to do a quickie.
I didn't chat GPT any questions. But
You better Kanye this interview. Go.
I'm Kanye. So
Old Kanye this interview. You better spit. That's what they say that when you get in front of Kanye. He wants to know if you got it or not. Yo, Kanye, I got this mixtape. I'm trying to see what's up. He's like,
oh, snap. Okay, on impromptu. So, now you've had quite a journey, from the beginnings, humble beginnings.
It was humble, y'all. Tell them where I'm from.
She's from Cuisine, y'all. And then she just decided to start writing books because something happened. She had a life change and said, oh, I'm going to do something different because this ain't working. This ain't working. We've been to fulfill some dreams here. Yeah. And then you just started writing books. Yeah. So I'm telling you this. It's been a dream, like a whirlwind. Like we worked together starting back in 2014. We didn't know nothing about books then.
No.
And
you remember it was just a dream to like get into the New York Public Library.
It was a dream.
If I could just make it in there.
You had like certain places we need to be. My Brown Baby. We was trying to go for Afro Punk. All of that was just a dream then. You had a list.
Yeah.
And we were just determined. We were determined back in them days. And I'm grateful. And now we can say, shoot, you everywhere. Target.
Really?
Google. Barnes and Nobles. Anywhere that's nationally syndicated. Dr. Tamara Pizzoli, the English Schoolhouse, is running that thing.
All right.
Okay? Half price books. I'm just showing you everywhere now. Tell them about the Google deal.
Okay, so that was great because that's what I mean about just putting yourself out there. Shout out to whatever black woman at Google who I will never know her name because they didn't tell me. But they approached me in 2021 about a licensing agreement to license, just not to own. Like I said, I'm huge on ownership because they call it intellectual property for a reason. Your intellectual property is like a house.
Yes.
It belongs to you. You decide who comes on your lawn. You decide who comes, you have to defend your property from people who might want to come take and seize. It's a real thing. So Google came with the right approach as far as they didn't want to buy outright. They just wanted to license my books and develop more. They were like, we like what you're doing. What can we do? How about we give you a significant amount and you just keep creating and you keep the content, you keep your intellectual property and you just license it to us for Google Assistant for 2 years.
Okay.
And so in that time frame, in a year, I wrote 35, wrote, art directed, published, produced, and also for audiobooks, 35 books.
Wow.
And that brought our catalog for the English Schoolhouse to almost 70 books published. And I've owned and operated my beautiful black-owned publishing house for 10 years now, 10 years this month.
Yes.
So I'm very grateful to companies like Google Assistant who see creatives doing the work and are like, we want to do what we can to make sure you do more of that.
Man, that's a blessing.
Yeah, it was.
You can right now go to any Google product and say, hey, Google.
Well, no, not now because the license, it was for 2 years. So it's like
okay, gotcha.
They park on your lawn for 2 years.
Okay.
And they don't want you giving the books out to anybody else during that time. But then they back on up. They back that thing up after 2 years. So it ended in 23.
Okay.
But during those 2 years, yes, you could have gone and said, hey, Google, play me a Tamara Pizzoli story, and it would have.
Yeah, that's the cool part. That's very cool. And it's about being able to own what's yours.
Yes.
And then I think that's the powerful thing about what you've done over the years is you've expressed so many beautiful stories with black characters as their main characters, and I think that's what to me has been such integral work for you, because we need diverse books, and you've created just that. I love how you saw what wasn't in the market and created it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Tell them about the Tallulah the Tooth Fairy CEO, and how Gabrielle Union picked that one up.
So, Tallulah the Tooth Fairy CEO is, I think it was the 8th book I published. That was back in 2016. I published it on my own through the English Schoolhouse. That's my publishing house. And then after that, McMillan came along, Ferris, Strauss and Giroux, with FSG McMillan, came along and decided that they would like to put it out. And so they did in 2019. But before that happened, an executive he used to be at Lionsgate but isn't anymore, just hit me up on Instagram and was like, I see a story here. And that was incredible.
Yes.
And so that's what I mean. All of these rights and things, it's so important for Black creatives to just get familiar, because and trust your vision, trust your dream, but also trust God's vision and God's dream, the universe's vision and the universe's dream, because I could never have imagined that he found me on Instagram, just putting what I felt was worth putting out there would yield such returns.
Right.
So this executive brought on Gabrielle Union, and it was optioned, and so we're waiting to see, because that's a horse of a different color. Everybody, it's enough that it got optioned, and to bring it to fruition is another process. But regardless of what happens to it, it's a huge win, because I don't have, to date, in 10 years, I've never had a literary agent, a film agent, anything like that. So I think just off of the currency, I think a lot of times, I'm talking a lot to Black creatives, but it's for all creatives also. I think sometimes we just, as creatives, get hyper-focused on, like, how much money we have, or how I can't do this until I do this, and I can't. No, sometimes it's just the energy of the moment and moving when you feel that it's right to move, and then you give it up to God, and then the rest is taken care of in ways that you couldn't even have imagined before.
What are you reading these days?
So I started reading. The interview's over.
Yes,
sorry.
it is. And we'll talk to you later.